Okay, this is a special look at our askSlim focus list. These are really the 60 best traded stocks and ETFs, and our members get to see this along with 24 futures contracts. I'm just going to show you the stocks right now, and I want to show you momentum conditions with our proprietary indicators and how you can just fire through these and get a very good sense for the condition of each of these stocks and ETFs. Let's take a look here at this chart, and you're going to see how fast I do this. So keep your eyes open. As you can see, this is a chart of Apple. And this chart up on the top is a variation of the way to see our slim ribbon, which shows you when it's in a positive, neutral, or negative condition. The next line down over here is the slim ribbon PO. The colors match the slim ribbon, but then we get momentum resumption signals that you can see right in here, and it gives you a good indication of when a stock is in a good condition or a rough condition. And you can see here on the bottom, this is the askSlim option bias indicator. And this is really was created to help option traders keep their positions biased in the best direction to be able to stay out of the way of getting caught on the big momentum moves, and of course to keep your position directed with the best momentum conditions for you to maximize your performance. As you can see in here, when it goes orange, you get warnings. It can be a bottom warning or a top warning if it's up on the top here. And you can see how good that was here. Also, you can see right here where the condition turned negative, and then you had that pop right over there in Apple, and it stayed negative, and of course the stock came down very hard again. So these are just a great momentum indicators and a great sense for how to understand the condition of a particular stock or ETF. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire through these very quickly, and you'll get a very good sense for the condition of each of them. So this is Apple, as you can see, and now I'm just going to move through them very quickly. So watch this, and you'll see how I do 60 stocks in just a matter of moments. There goes Apple. Here you have applied materials. You can see it is negative under all conditions, resumed to the downside. Here you could see AMD. AMD, very similar to what I just showed you in these other techs, quite negative. This is a picture of Amgen, and that you see on the bottom right, bottom warning there. So we're getting an indication because the oversold condition is so strong. Now, one thing about the option bias indicator is that it's one of the few indicators that has a built-in volatility aspect to it. So that is very oversold in Amgen and likely to be turning around soon for at least a bounce. Amazon, take a look at this, that big negative condition that exists there. And you can see how good when it was positive, how those signals were coming on the slim ribbon PO. These, of course, all proprietary indicators for our level 4 members to be able to get these kind of live charts. Here you can see Broadcom, quite negative when you look at that. We'll get to some positive stocks also. Boeing, you can see that's in negative condition also. Look how good it was when it was in positive condition. Beautiful signals in there while it was going up. Here you could see a couple of top warnings. You see there on the option bias indicators, those orange dots really nailed those short-term tops. And look at this negative condition in Baba. That's Alibaba Group. This is Baidu, still quite negative, as you can see right in there. This is Caterpillar, not being able to turn positive on that upside tick we had last week and now in negative condition. This is Costco, same thing, negative. Salesforce, looking quite negative when you see that, and that good resumption signal with that red arrow. Option bias indicator, been very reliably negative. Here you could see this is Chevron. Of course, this is an energy. They're much more positive. Look at that 4 orange dots that you can see here in the option bias study right over here, how it pegged that bottom. Look at the 2 orange dots here, peg the top right over there, and still under positive condition and about to give a upside signal in there. So here you could see a good example of why this is so important to really be able to create a portfolio that has positive and negative stocks in there. Here is Deere, it was doing really well. It's now neutral, and definitely a stock that has been stronger. This is Disney. Disney trying to put in a bottom in there, but now it's turned negative again with this downside market momentum. So we'd call this stock kind of mixed right now in Disney. Meta still looking negative. It tried to go neutral, but you could see as it had turned negative again, and now the stock falling hard. This stock, FCX, Freeport, the material's trying to do a little better, but I would call this mixed condition looking at that. This is FedEx. Now, FedEx down an amazing 22% today, and you can see it's been negative. I mean, clearly this has been telling you that there is trouble, and now you notice that orange dot down there. That in the option bias indicator, it was red, it was negative. You can see all of that, and now it says that it is an extreme oversold condition. So somewhere in here, probably in the next few days, there will be a short-term rebound. First Solar, the solar stocks have been great. We have loved them, and look at how clearly this gave you that indication for that whole upside momentum move, and it still looks good. Here's Goldman Sachs. They were trying to bottom, but couldn't really get much in there. The option bias indicator is neutral. You can see yellow, and that's because the longer term indicators in there, and that's a multiple time frame indicator, are giving it a little of a supportive look to it. So we would call Goldman Sachs as mixed. Home Depot looking clearly negative there, and we don't need that news coming out there. I'm going to fire through these now a little bit faster so that you can get a good sense for how this really works. You can see in here JP Morgan is looking better, and potentially a stock that has some upside in it here when this selling squall is over in the stock market. Southwest Airlines kind of negative again. You can see it turning that way. Here is Las Vegas Sands. They have been trying to bottom these stocks in the gambling area, and this is a stock that I think is buyable when you look at that. McDonald's on the negative side, you can see clearly there. Morgan Stanley, so this has turned neutral again, but like the other financials, they are starting to show some resilience, as you can see. Now look in the bottom, option bias indicator, still green, and still telling you that there's a potential for upside in here. Microsoft, that false rally that you had in there, clearly was negative, and you can see on the bottom that the option bias indicator stayed negative, stayed red through that rally, and then you had the resumption signal. Micron negative, multiple resumption signals on the downside. Newmont Mining, you can see, look at how long that has been red in there. I don't know why that cycle bracket's in there, but we'll remove that. Look at this, unbelievable. It has kept you on the short side, on the negative side through that whole time period in there. We're looking 6 months back, and you can see the value of that. You wouldn't be certainly buying that one under that condition. Here's Netflix. Netflix trying to bottom. You can see it's now turning neutral on the option bias indicator. It has now turned green on the daily short-term momentum, and that says to you that investors are anticipating that their new model that will allow advertising is likely to work in a big way, and that stock acting better. That's Netflix. Here you can see NVIDIA, quite negative, special that Katie did on that today, and I think you'll enjoy her lesson that we do there. Here is Oracle, negative, you can see that. Here is PAAS, another one of the metal stocks, and it's been mostly negative through this whole period, as you can see. This is a look at PayPal. PayPal trying to put a bottom in there. You can see that it's turning positive in momentum, and I think this one is buyable when you look at that. And now take a look here at Roku. Roku is trying to neutralize there, but look at the option bias indicator on the bottom. It's still not being able to get neutral yet there, so still maybe bottoming, but a little bit of problems. Here is Starbucks, this one looking much better, as you can see. Square still looking negative. Toll Brothers, which is negative, and RV did a special video on that in this show. Here is Tesla, TSLA, and look at that one is much stronger than some of the other in the group. Twitter looking positive, it's holding in there. United Airlines, that's even another airline that is looking strong. That has some positive indications there, as you can see, even with this market getting slammed. Here is Visa, negative, clearly negative. And here is Walmart. Walmart, well, it was positive and going neutral, competing well, I think, against Amazon, and Amazon getting hurt by what we saw in FedEx going on and UPS. So Walmart looking better than those are. Here is Win neutral, and that was coming off of negative. And I think looking at Las Vegas Sands, it's probably telling you this one's going to do okay. Exxon just getting neutral now. It was very positive, as you can see, with the rest of the energies. Now, quickly, we'll look at these ETFs in here, and you'll see the semiconductor index looking still quite negative. Same thing for the biotechs. Here, the XLE, the energies, now neutral. When you look at the momentum conditions, the option bias indicator is still positive, and that's because of the long-term positive weeklies in there and monthlies that are indicated, that are saying that a dip in here is probably a buy. XLF, the financials, they were trying to neutralize, but now have turned negative, though the option bias indicator neutral. We'll call this one mixed. XLI, industrials, negative. XLK, the technology, negative. You can see all that. XLP, these consumer staples, those are negative. XRT, which is the retail, still negative. You can see that. You can see the top warning that we had in there if you go back and look at that. EEM, emerging markets, well, they're looking pretty terrible also. In there, and last few that we'll look at, this is the stocks, 50 European stocks. You know, we were very negative in there. Here is China, still negative. You know, we were negative in there. And the GDX, the gold ETF, getting absolutely hammered. I think we're in a capitulation in the gold market. So I wanted you to see that, an unbelievable way to look at 60 stocks in minutes. This was 12 minutes long. Looking at that, and where can you get that much information in this brief period of time with our amazing proprietary indicators? I hope you absolutely loved it.